for it, so.
Right.
She's coming.
Is he the only one online?
Recording in progress.
It's the small thing.
Hello. Hello.
I didn't know you were back. I thought it was Monday.
Today. Okay.
It is 10 a.m. and we are going to call this meeting to order. Will y'all please stand for the invocation? Commissioner Munoz, will you lead us in the invocation?
Yes. Dear Lord, we want to thank you for this day. Lord, we want to ask you that you guide us in our budget meeting. And Lord, we're just thankful for everything you've done for us and continue to give us blessing and guide us in the right direction. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag, state of Mexico, the assemble, perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you. Okay, we are on item 5, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from July 1st, 2025 meeting.
Make a motion. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. New business. Action item number 1 is adoption of resolution 2025-26 approving the fiscal year budget. Manager Patterson, you are up.
Sorry, we have to run up and grab the resolution too. From the folder for today. So last couple of weeks, we've just worked hard to pick up where it was left off. I think with everyone's input from all the different departments, we came up with what I feel is a very realistic budget. As we said, we went from the starting product of at a $2 million loss for the year to being in the black about $3,000. So, but again, a lot of the numbers are actual.
It is a win.
And thanks to help from everybody, definitely the treasurer's office helped with some really good projections that they had. So by plugging all those in and making those changes and getting it uploaded into the system last night, got us to where we are today.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
with your permission, Mr. Patterson, were all of I'm sure you went back and had to look at the minutes from our previous budget meeting and the approvals and the approvals that we did make, the cuts that we made, did all of that remain the same?
Honestly, I have not looked at anything about cuts or anything. The cuts that were mentioned to me were like brought by individual department heads and elected, like the clerk's office, treasurer's office, the sheriff. There were several that they said, "Oh no, this is not supposed to be in there because, like, for example, the trucks that they got from the assessor's office, so then they didn't need the 100,000 that was in the budget for them to get vehicles. So those kind of changes were made, and all off of that. We can try to go back and research to find out what all was in the minutes from whichever meetings these were that you had the discussions with, to make sure they're captured. Um, and if we have to, we can try to probably get it in a bar or something.
Well, that's pretty much what I was talking about was, like with the pickups at the sheriff's office and the switches from the assessor's office and everything we did there. We also talked about building them an awning for their vehicles in the parking lot. We talked about adding an additional person for the fairground staff, that kind of thing. I just want to make sure that, okay.
Yeah, it's half a person sharing them with the road department. As far as the carport, we're working on a few things for that through a couple of things we learned about at conference and stuff, where there's some potential federal money and stuff that might help, and do some solar stuff as well that would help with other expenses here at the courthouse and other locations as well. So we're trying to look into all that. I feel confident that we caught most of the changes that everyone brought up. Like I said, everyone's been very easy to work with, and all of them know their individual changes very well. So,
Great. Thank you.
yes, sir.
Better.
Anybody else have anything?
Yeah.
Any questions for you?
Paul?
No.
Roy Lee?
Not yet.
Okay.
No. I just know that we made several cuts down through the departments when we was doing this, and we'd have to go back and look back through them to see where if we made all the cuts. After we made a lot of cuts through several departments that day. And, but anyway, as far as like right now, we'll just
Like Johnny's
play it by
pickup.
ear,
That was cut
Johnny's
too.
pickup.
Yeah, that was cut too.
Johnny's pickup, the grandstands up at the fairgrounds, and, stuff like, just little stuff like that.
So you met with each department head and they let you know so you do feel confident that every department put in their
I do.
stuff? Okay.
With every department, some of the deputies came with their department leaders and all as well. So
Okay.
Do y'all feel comfortable in the outcome as well?
I do.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do. So whenever they sent us whenever Drew sent the original budget in the beginning, it did not have our cuts that we had talked about in the meeting. So I went and met with him, and the only concern that I have is our salary line item, because that has gone down from last year. But I know, speaking with Drew, he was going to get closer to actuals to make sure. So that's my only concern. But the 100,000 that was in the vehicles that was taken out, he took that out, and then he took out that extra 10,000 for equipment. But pretty much everything else seems like it's tracking.
How much do you feel like we're down on your salary, do you think?
I honestly don't know. We've never done the salaries because we don't know, like the workman comps fees, the FICA, the insurance, the para, all that stuff. But I just noticed that it went down from last year, and I don't know how much we've used, how much salary line item that we actually used last year. So I don't know if that's more of a correct number.
So the number that's in there is the current projections of the people that are there, their salaries, all the positions with increases.
Increases
and all of the
Okay.
benefit numbers were updated and all too. So what's in that current one?
Yeah, that was my only concern, I guess. But
It's an estimation, no matter what you do, because
Right.
things change. But it's
And I know when I sat down with Mary, the spreadsheets that were left from previous were like just kind of all over the place. So it was hard to try to calculate what was going on. So, and I know they worked their tails off trying to get that straightened out and figured out. So I appreciate them.
The way they explained it to me is they went through every person and at their annual anniversary and that kind of thing, so that it's more accurate than basing everybody on 12 months at the increased rate. So my people have anniversaries in November and December, so we didn't have to count 6 months of full
Oh,
increase. So it is a smaller number, but it's a more accurate number. So I feel comfortable with it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we tried to leave a little bit of a cushion in that as well too, because things sometimes change a little. It's hard to dial it down to the exact penny, but there's a lot of numbers that we had already received in that are going to be actual, some of the grants and stuff like that. So it cleaned up a lot of the projections.
Okay. Can you tell me, is there anything on all of these that you've given us that you feel like really needs to be pointed out or attention taken to, that's like a drastic change that you would like to discuss with us or anything?
The biggest ones were some of the vehicle issues that changed. Talking 100,000 sheriff's office, the one with rural for changing out funny stuff. Other than that,
What was our big change for the 2 million upside down? What would you?
So some of the revenues, the projections were, I don't know where they'd come from talking with Treasurer's Office and others. So I feel that those are a lot more accurate than they were. There was a little play in both directions because some of the grants were a little lower than what they were projected to be, but then some of the other tax revenues and so forth, which these are actually conservative numbers even for that. But she felt comfortable with them because our collection rate is usually a certain percentage, but she budgeted at a lower percentage than our average just because we'd rather be safe than sorry. And then salary numbers and stuff, it had been put in across the board like a 20% increase in all the benefits and stuff like that. So taking out the 20% and putting in the actual benefit numbers, I think made probably one of the biggest changes.
Okay. And when y'all worked with previously, when we did the preliminary budget, did any of y'all have any input on what was submitted for your preliminary budget? Because everybody's telling me now that there was inaccurate information on the. It's talking to me. So did y'all do you not feel like you were included as much on the preliminary?
I think for us, we were sent out the worksheets and we filled out the worksheets and sent them in, and there really wasn't meetings how there had been in the past and how I think it's going to go in the future. I think we need to sit down and just make sure we go over our budgets with the admin and make sure everything's driving. Of course, we asked for the moon and stars to begin with, so we try to get whatever we can, but there really wasn't a whole lot of, conversation going back and forth with the budgets. So,
But you're comfortable now with?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we had basically the worksheet input and no communication or collaboration back and forth before the presentation.
But now that everybody does, we feel confident, and each department head seems to feel comfortable with all of the things that were submitted. Is that correct?
That's been what's communicated to me, I believe.
Okay.
I know several of them are here. They can probably answer for themselves, but
Y'all are all comfortable? Steven, you're good?
Like the sheriff said, our salary looks like it went down, but I think it was because we lost an employee that was paid higher. And I'm thinking that's why it went down. But I really, without seeing the numbers and stuff, I really don't know.
So I'm curious.
we sit here in the preliminary budget meeting, and by the, yes, I know that's for the start, but by the end of the meeting, I felt like we had a very comprehensive budget setup. We had discussed with all the department heads here that day. We went line by line. I don't know what happened to that. I mean, maybe the salaries weren't put in, maybe the projections weren't exactly correct, but what happened to that work product from that day?
I do not know. I know the one that was provided to me, was it 3 weeks ago? Maybe when all this kicked off, when we realized that the budget wasn't where we had thought it was, or at the step that we had thought it was. So we were scrambling to make sure we made the budget deadline. That's the only one that I've seen. We can try to search through computers and try to find a previous version possibly and try to compare what the
It
differences
came
are.
from TKM because she went and got it from TKM.
Well, that's
day
where I
from
got
them.
this one from was TK.
But I think that was the very first preliminary budget. 'Cause the one that Drew sent us was basically the very first one. It wasn't updated with the cuts. So it still showed our vehicles.
So
still-
that never got changed.
I don't think that ever got changed. And I think that's where y'all made the cuts that day. Y'all approved the cuts. And then I don't think that ever got updated on the spreadsheets.
So
when we
TKM
got,
said that was what Annette had, the prior county manager had provided to them, and that's what they were working off of. And they didn't know anything about any changes or anything like that. What they had was the only version that they had.
yeah, I think what she went and got that day was the very first preliminary budget that we did with everybody's needs and wants, but it never did get updated to show the cuts that everybody did.
For those cuts and all, this other version, was that supposedly like at the end of May or beginning of June or something, or when was that?
It was the beginning of
Just beginning to use that.
It was the
And then you really didn't have enough time to go through it and do all the cuttings and stuff and get it sent into TKM.
because
Because she was relieved of her duties shortly after that meeting. 2 weeks, I want to say 2 weeks afterwards, she was.
She wasn't relieved. She resigned.
Well, excuse me for saying relieved, but anyway, I'm just saying, I don't think she had enough time to get all put in.
I don't think anything was submitted to TK. My conversations with them, they were surprised too when I sent stuff to them because they're like, "Oh, this is totally different." So they didn't know anything about any of those changes.
Like I said, I don't.
So this is basically due tomorrow, and we're going to vote on approving this, not saying that y'all haven't worked diligently on it and that I don't trust everything that y'all have done, but this is a new budget that we haven't even gone through yet.
Well, from my understanding, this is the same that we had, only it's removing the vehicles and then putting the salaries. So the things that were cut are out now, and now it's just fixing the salaries.
Fixing salary and benefits. It sounds like we got the cuts that were discussed, and then fixing revenue projections.
That you met with the treasurer's office.
Because a lot of the revenue
Okay.
stuff was just flat, just copies from the prior year or whatever. So we actually got better projections and all from the treasurer's office. And then we got actuals from the different departments that had grants, with their grant numbers that they had already received or what they were going to be receiving.
Madam Chair, are we allowed to make budget cuts after this is approved? If we see fit?
I don't know. Can we make budget cuts after the fact? Michael or Drew?
I would think we could submit bars just like we did last year.
I have a final question, Madam.
Okay.
And I wanted to say before, I'm sorry, but just because it's in the budget doesn't mean we have to spend it either. So, I mean, we can always say, hey, can you push that off till next year or whatever? And, there's,
It's just like the fuel sheriff deputies put in, fuel from the road departments put in, they put in a projected higher number.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna get spent.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because it's there doesn't have
mean it has
to.
to be
Right.
All right.
Keep in mind though, coming from somebody that had a budget, it's not always a good idea or perceived to be a good idea from a department head to, not saying that anybody would, but to turn back money and then ask for a budget increase next year, you know? So,
And some of the numbers are rolling numbers that are being used to accumulate because they know that there's going to be like a software purchase or something that they're wanting that is going to take a couple of years of trying to roll that money into it to be able to afford the purchase. So those those show in the budget too, but they're not necessarily going to be spent in this fiscal year.
Well, I feel confident because you did meet with all the department heads and treasurers, and everybody seems to be comfortable, and you guys all seem to be comfortable with your portion. That makes me feel a lot better, and so thank you. I appreciate all your hard work. I know it was kind of a mess, and you guys have
All
all
of you.
worked together, all of y'all. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Madam Chair, if I could add, I was having trouble finding my screen here. It's kind of, I can't see you all for some reason, but to answer your question, you all can make adjustments in the budget over the course of the year. There's nothing that stops you from doing that.
Okay.
And I will say our plan moving forward is for this to be a team thing. We'll try to do some budget workshops. Definitely try to have better packages together for people than just a few pages of paper. More like some of the stuff I've seen from previous years. It's how it should be, a book with more detail and supporting stuff behind it. And then then there'll be at least a binder or something we can go to and find where changes were written, and we can say, well, no, this is where we discussed it, and we can show all that instead of right now just take all the guesswork out of it.
Thank you.
I still have that final question.
Go ahead.
The last page, and I seen it the other day when looking through all this. On all funds, back here, very back, the last page,
very bottom.
the very bottom. We have all funds and then the assets of $34,783,920.28. And then we go down here to revenues of $18,188,731. And then their expenditures of $19,305,015.21. And what? Explain that.
Yeah, because it's presenting a little different than our spreadsheet presented too, and this is from his upload from last night.
Yeah.
Because that's that 1.2 million difference, right? Or maybe 1.1 and change right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what might be missing out of that. I know he still had some last minute tweaks he needs to make, just as far as like I said before, the LGBMS numbers and the encode numbers don't mix right, so he has to put some stuff in. Some of the small equipment number will show different amounts than what's on the spreadsheet. Let me just 1 second. Sorry.
Well, I seen that the other day, and I guess I should have. The other night, when I was looking at it, and I thought, well, I was going to ask because the all funds, that would be everything, right?
Yes, it should
Well,
capture-
that's how I interpreted it.
It should capture like all of our income from investments. It should capture, it should capture everything.
What about grants? Could that be grants?
It should capture all that, or it's supposed to. I know those are all in those different lines. I know some of the stuff shows the way the spreadsheet works. It's a little hard to follow some of it sometimes because it looks like you're duplicating income on some of the tabs, but they should all be carrying over to that generalization tab or summation tab, which is where the investment income, which I know that was a change we made from the older version too, which we got those projections from the treasurer as well. I know the gross receipt taxes, those numbers changed. So it's just a moment to.
I'll just be kind of honest, that's kind of flipped through, looked through this other pretty fast, but that was the main, I went to the last one
Right.
to see exactly where we stood at, and that's what. Anyway, that kind of worried me.
Since it's the service that we paid off, and didn't get taken.
As possible. Because I know on the.
I have the packet from the. Oh, yeah? And then this is one for today. Oh, you just gotta go line by line. Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, it is. It's something that needs to be spent a lot of time on. What we did that day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fixed assets is different.
Yeah.
I don't guess there's any way we can get TKM on the phone.
It goes in the book.
So I talked to them this morning and they're at some kind of retreat today. And it's like every time, they've had company trainings or retreats, or it's like just the
Always
worst
always
timing.
something,
Yeah, it's like, well, this is the end of the year and when everything's due.
It's crunch time, they're taking
y'all need to
off.
put that off to the next month. But yeah, no, it's been, yeah.
So if it reads like that, won't it submit as being the 1 point?
It
million and
would
above?
submit like this, which which is showing, according to this, from what was on the one tab, that would be about right now it's 1,116,000, which is about $1,119,000 difference from where we had it when we sent it to them. The only thing I can do is I can try to look at a couple just to make sure they didn't fat finger some of the numbers on their entry. But that's the only thing.
But you're sure that we're, what you said before, the 3 or whatever thousand?
That's the last product that I had sent to him, which was what he was supposed to be uploading on Friday, but he uploaded it last night. So. Most of the numbers, just off the top of my head, are looking fairly accurate on the revenue side, at least.
What is the debt service number?
450 or 543.52.
543.52.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the interest in it too, so it's what, 708 total?
Because we paid off one of those.
Yeah, one is talking about those 3 loans, one of them's paid off.
Yeah.
So we own the 2. But I know I put in the new principles and all from that Love gave me.
And that one, what was that? Was it $1 million? The one that we just paid off? About that.
Is 1.1 or something like that.
And that's about where we're at in the difference right here.
And I can double check and
For what?
The one we
Paying off
paid
the
off,
arena?
when we paid it off last year. Sorry,
Oh.
Bob. We paid it off last year.
It ought to be in here right here. It ought to be right in here somewhere.
computer. I should have brought my computer with me.
Sure.
You mind running up there real quick? Just grab it. Unplug it.
You have to bring the cord though.
I apologize for wasting your time.
No, you're good. I got all day planned for this.
Well, let's hope not.
Don't stress, Drew. It'll be all right.
The HDMI cord is here.
Those portables and all that, the slab work. All of that was in here too.
It's accurate.
I didn't know if we ever
It is a
put on
possibility.
slab work on because we didn't have a price yet.
I told Ramsey when she called me to go look for spots, I was like, I'm not doing that. Let the other commissioners be in the room.
Yeah.
It needs to be voted on in the commission.
You should have brought donuts, Drew.
I know a good donut place.
I'm gonna run, get the minutes.
They're right here.
Yeah, the arena,
It goes on official paper.
Oh,
see, the arena, we
fancy
pay,
paper.
that's the construction at the arena. Construction of the arena, it was 1.6. They did all.
That was the payoff one
Yeah. I believe it was. According to this. No. No.
I thought he was around $1 million, $800,000.
That was what it cost to put it up, was 1.6.
Payoff.
Print was $1,75,300. Debt service of principal. It's on there, just on the arena.
We chose to go ahead and pay that off.
Pay that.
I don't know.
Would that
It's-
knock us $3,000 upside down then?
No.
Or I mean, right side up?
It's the one from the manager's desk.
So you should be in here obligations or whatever.
See checks on it, right?
Hmm?
Some checks on it.
Yeah.
It checks everything. 1.117.
How you? Computer's on screen.
No, it put us one.
You think I can actually one ginormous figure?
It'd be less than $1,000 or
You
something.
think you could zoom in and share it too?
What that would be.
You can join
that.
something, share your screen.
So it's not sharing that up there? He's
You
not-
can't because it's coming off of your screen, it's not coming off of mine.
Michael can't see it.
But with that arena payoff, we're just
Yeah, let
out.
me, run something real quick and then I'll try to.
Okay.
No, that's good, thank you.
Cause I got it was 1,116,284 is what the difference is in these two. And
The
then,
arena payoff was 1,170,000.
oh, 1,117.
$857 is the payoff for the arena.
It's not that ARPA funds, is it? That $1 million of
Oh,
ARPA?
yeah, we had to send back that $1 million in ARPA. 1.2, right?
There's somewhere right around this amount.
1.2 that we have to send back in ARPA funds.
I was gonna look for the original one that we started with, but
I'll be in here.
oh yeah, let me join this. Can you send me the Zoom
I
link?
didn't bring none of that stuff because I thought we was just gonna.
Hey, Greg,
Ma'am?
do you know about the ARPA funds that we had to send back? It was 1.2 million we had to send back in ARPA funds because we did not have our paperwork done on time.
So I had reached out when someone said something to me about that, to the state, and then they had me reach out to the feds, and then the feds said you've submitted everything you were supposed to submit. So
Still have it.
I don't know that anything's been as explained to me clawed back yet or not.
Don't you know something about that, Mandy?
That's all I know. That's what we talked about, and he reached out and
Have you talked to Carla?
Carla ought to have.
Because Carla needs something.
Carla, what?
What do you say? Ian's out of the office.
Yeah, they're at a retreat.
Vacation.
How can they go on a retreat when we haven't finalized our budget?
I have no idea.
Just like a hired hand leading.
It's like letting Santa Claus off on Christmas.
You mind coming down?
That's why
We
they
got an
don't do
ARPA
that.
question about
That's why they.
clawback and all that. They've actually already taken that back, or?
I know absolutely nothing about ARPA. I have not touched that grant at all. That was handled by the previous county managers.
Okay, so you don't know anything about it. Okay,
Not a grant that I handled.
no, it's okay. All right.
No, I don't even have the file in my office.
TK number 10.
Part of it.
1 o'clock.
Okay. Okie dokie. Well, thank you. No, you're good. You're good. You're always awesome. I appreciate it.
So they want to reach back to you at 1?
So Carla doesn't know anything about it. She said that was only handled by the prior county managers, and she's never even seen the file on it.
So do you have any idea when you'll be able to speak to TKMT?
He said if I send him an email, he can reply when he has time.
Could we ask him why it shows that we're upside down when you submitted
Recording in progress.
otherwise?
Your mic.
But this
Surely they can reverse these.
I muted our screen.
Surely they can reverse these.
turn your mic towards the floor instead of towards the microphone.
How's that?
Much better.
sent you a request.
I don't think you've muted your, oh, there you go.
Alright, yeah, we're fine.
I was gonna say, no, my
I got at least on my
computer says it.
No, your computer's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of things on the screen. Let's see.
Dude, give me one more solid. Can you mute the volume off your laptop completely? Just in case. That's my last concern. Right, it is. Alright.
Can you show us where your final number is that you sent in to him? Or is that interrupting what you're trying to get done there?
I mean, this should show what the net operating would be right here. I'm just trying to see if there's any numbers that he that maybe were entered wrong.
Across the street and come back in. Okay. Right.
Last fall, we got the kids. Let's go. You get your treatment. Yeah.
We'll have to.
Easy private, you know.
You just stay here and work.
Yeah. He's done working. Finished drawing. I'm trying to get him to take me to the mountains. Last year, because we were going to the mountains this weekend. A bass boat.
Bring it together.
So we can even pick you one. We can do that. Well, that means your shoulder. Are you supposed to do that?
So you're not reaching out, so you're not doing it. Today, I was there. I've been going physical therapy since I had surgery on Thursday. The following Monday, I started there. Physical therapy. I had no physical therapy.
Do you know that Cal, after put his neck and started with physical therapy, never seen physical therapy or anything personally?
It's broke.
That's fixed now. You took the place up, but just. That's what I didn't, I don't know. If it go through the neck, but I think it was something. I don't think so. It was something that's just like-
Dave Sanders read it. Broke his neck. You know, they have to go. When she asked me about Tom Cox had a wreck.
Can you recess that for 15 minutes?
Fractured or whatever.
Yeah.
He never told me this.
Hey Drew, we're gonna recess for about a few minutes and go to the restroom and stuff. Is that okay? Okay. We're gonna recess. How much time you think, Drew? 15, 20, 30? What do you want?
Don't make any difference.
Sure. 15, 20.
Okay, we'll do 20 minutes. We'll come back. We're recessing at 10:47. Is that helpful, Andy?
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can I ask about 30 seconds of your time?
You can.
To sign this contract that was approved in June that was not in the packet.
Okay.
And I have a signature, it's with Be Well. Rossi has signed it.
How are you, Lori?
It was on that agenda in June.
You want me to
Walked in
sign
here,
here?
didn't say nothing to nobody.
Darla, is that the one out of my folder?
Yeah.
Okay, good. 'Cause
Yeah, I went and
as soon
got
as- I thank you. Since that didn't have to be part of this.
Carla said it might not be in the packet for today.
Yeah, I
Would you
forgot
hand
to
that
grab
to
it out.
Tina too?
All right. I ain't worried about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Recording stopped.
God, I've got.
It is a great day. I'm a bright moving.
Okay. What we're talking. You want those things sliced, packaged, frozen?
Does it tell if it's
Yeah, I mean, it tells me that there's people viewing it.
Are you coming back in?
Yeah, we did. We're in. Go ahead.
So I'm just trying to figure out where the 18 and 19 numbers are coming from for the revenues and expenses from them, because like I said, we're showing just shy of 14 in both, with a net positive of 3770. I found, just going off of their revenue page and our revenue page, like 385,000 that to the plus that were that should be added to this. Some of it he had to put into miscellaneous other and all, so it's just presenting differently. Again, it's the LGBMS numbers are different than encode, so sometimes multiple encode numbers will go into one LGBMS number. So then but we follow it accurately in encode, since that's where we code all of our payments and income but the bottom number should be the same unless there's something in LGBMS, which of course I'm new to. I hadn't really been in it, that if there's something that we show in our budget that doesn't translate over or something, but I hadn't dove into all the expenditures that are here to see if any of those are overstated or duplicated, but
So you're still confident with your 3,770?
yeah, I'm still confident. I mean, it's the same. Nothing's changed. That's what it was when I sent it to him.
That's what Lau said. Lau said she was confident of it as well.
And I mean, if you
Like
get
I say, if we gotta submit this, this is what we're submitting. You need to figure out.
Right, well, we gotta decide how it's gonna submit it, because we don't want it to submit showing upside down.
Exactly.
That's what I was asking, but
That's the reason why I asked this question.
sorry, I'm just asking. I sent that email. I texted him too, just in case he looks at one of them. You read it.
Hmm?
You read the text at least.
Texting 911, dude, 911. Your paycheck depends on it.
That's the bad part, we've already paid them.
Mhm. You would think when they know you're doing budget, they would go ahead and answer a call. But
And I mean, it's so hard when you're trying to do everything catch up in the last minute, and you really didn't work in a lot of the numbers to understand where a lot of the original stuff came from, which, a book like that would come in handy for that. So, okay.
We don't have a detention booking fee anymore. We did away with that like 2 years ago. By resolution, we don't charge detainees a booking fee.
Came from somewhere.
From the,
I gotta find the original one.
from the 3 year ago column. It came from the 3 years ago column.
Maybe it did. Where would it come from? It's funny that wasn't cut.
I noticed it because you highlighted it.
Come up in the meeting.
ask him, he's out in the hall.
Hey, Mark. So, you mind if I put you on speaker?
I'm here with Ramon, by the way.
Oh, perfect. So we're looking at the report out of LGBMS, and we're looking at the spreadsheet from
Okay.
what that stuff was entered. So when we go to that last page, and it shows the assets, revenues, and expenditures.
Mm-hmm.
So should that not correlate with the tab on the on our spreadsheet? Should it not correlate with the GF classification tab?
It sounds like it should, but I wasn't really trying to tie back to anything more than I was just making sure that all the tabs that were all populated into LGBMS. I didn't really do any kind of subsequent analysis to see if the summary totals tied out or anything like that.
Because when we look at the LGBMS, it looks like we're at like a 1.1 loss. But
Okay.
then, but when we look at the GF classification tab, it looks like we're at like a $3,000 in the black.
Well, now the general fund's not going to be all encompassing. So the general fund might show a loss, but not all those other funds are a part of the general fund. So
Okay.
the GF tab might not be representative of everything.
Okay. So can you give us some?
Because for example, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Roads.
Okay.
Generally is going to be its own fund, reporting purposes in the financial statements.
Okay.
So if you go to last year's financial report, go to the audit report, okay? And if you go to the front statements where it has the fund level financial statements, I don't have any of that in front of me right now, but I'm going to guess that general fund is your major fund, and then roads fund is usually a separate major fund. And depending on, the activity, there's going to be some other major funds, and then you're going to have some non-major governmental funds.
Mm-hmm.
And so GF doesn't necessarily represent the entire government.
All
So if you look at the
encompassing.
GF summary tab
Okay.
to try to tie out to the
Yep.
totality of all of those, I don't think that's going to work.
Okay. So we don't have an actual tab that's tying everything in together then on the spreadsheet that we had.
Not on the spreadsheet that I know of, Drew. I didn't see a summary tab. I know which tab you're referring to now.
Yeah.
We looked at it yesterday because it had all those summary totals at the bottom of the worksheet.
Yeah. Because originally
it didn't
that's
have account numbers with it. It was like 1 through 12.
right.
It had all those different.
Because originally that's the one that was showing in the red $2 million. And then with all the changes that have been put in, it brought it the other way. But yeah, it's the one with that 1 through 12 listed.
Yeah, so that one I don't believe is supposed to be the summary tab for the entire government. It's probably just the funds or the departments that are within general fund, like assessor.
Okay.
All those funds. There are a bunch of funds, departments that roll up in general fund,
Right.
but a lot of those are separate funds, like the fairgrounds and the debt service funds.
Yep.
All those debt service projects, those are not general fund. Roads department is not general fund. Hospital, things like that are not part of the general fund. So you can't take the general fund tab as being the summary per se.
So really this needs another tab with a better summation.
Probably wouldn't be bad because it would be good to have a check figure to tie back to LGBMS. Yes.
Right. All right. So right now, the way it's entered in LGBMS with all these separate tabs and everything, and you're confident that everything is entered, or is there still stuff? Okay. And
the only thing we have not done is those little stragglers that we were looking at last night. We obviously haven't had time to go net those together yet, but
right.
We're getting summoned back into the conference room, so we'll check back in with you. We'll have a little break this afternoon.
Well, where are we at on the budget right now?
Just real quick. Like right now, as it sets in LGBMS, we're at a 1.1 loss though. Roughly.
Drew, I wasn't really paying attention if there was a loss or gain. I was just entering in the data that all the departments gave us to put in.
Okay.
That's probably something I would expect that at the beginning of the exercise at the department level, they would have, been aware of that, right? If you're putting together a budget, you should be putting together a break-even budget by department.
Right. Yeah. And that goes to the root of what we're.
Part of the problem.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check back in with you when we have our afternoon break. Sorry we didn't have more time this morning, but I wouldn't expect the GF tab to tie out to LGBMS as far as the summary of totals. That's not how that was designed, I don't believe.
Okay. But this what you guys didn't create this spreadsheet.
No.
Okay.
We're just helping get it into the system and helping, make updates and stuff when needed.
All right.
I mean, something we can look at as part of our next task is, helping develop this to be more productive and efficient. But yeah, we were kind of inherited that.
I understand. All right. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome, sir.
Which continues the.
So he made a comment.
Yeah.
That confused me. So I know I'm gonna sound stupid, but so he said that the 3,000 was just the departments and they were all okay. But he said that's just each individual department. That's not all of the other stuff. But then we're 1.1 million over, but then he referred that back to being the department's problem because they didn't work their budget right. But when it just was departments, it was still right side up.
Sort of to certain departments, right?
So we can look at the department tabs and see where they finished off at.
So Hobby, you don't have the booking fees anymore in your department because it shows 13,000 in revenue on your
It's
booking
detention.
fees. Oh, it's
Well, that would be
detention.
Yeah, that was
detention. That would be
detention,
that
not
would
you,
be sheriff.
sorry.
No. And let me see if I can find this original.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a resolution where y'all did away with the booking fees.
Yeah, that's what Randy said. Sorry, I have so many right now. I'm following all these different emails, so I got to just figure out which one it came to. This one. I thought, my understanding, I thought TKM was more involved in the creation of all this, and it sounds like they're just as in the dark as we are. Obviously, they're more familiar with the accounting procedures and all that are required in this.
It
But
sounded to me like they just, the whole thing they do is data entry.
yeah, I thought that they were more involved in the actual creation, but from the earlier conversations and all, that's obviously not accurate.
They're a totally new vendor within the last year.
I know that they were at the schools with the prior county manager, and that's where the relationship had formed. But unfortunately, it seems like there's been several pieces farmed out to different vendors to try to help do the accounting functions. They're the only ones that we're still using. And then the other ones, the comments we got were, well, I just entered what I was given. So they didn't have any knowledge to give us any, to give to us either. So.
Well, I'm sorry this is dumped in your lap like it is.
No, I'm sorry that
It's not fair to you.
It's just a time thing. You only have so much time, and
I know.
you dive into one thing, and then it's like I said, it's you feel like you're making progress, and then something else just blows
What
up. So
I'm fixing to say is,
Yeah.
if you're confident that we're in good shape, just go with where it washes. But
well, I know with the loss, there's certain requirements that DFA is going to have, which we've probably met in the past anyway, and it's going to be investment type stuff, which we're more than stable from what I've seen from meeting with the treasurer's office and all. I think we'll meet all the requirements, and then obviously the preliminary that had to have been uploaded had to be a lot worse than this. And DFA had approved it. At this point, because of the late hour, my recommendation would be to move forward with it. And then if we need to do budget adjustments later, we can dive into these numbers.
Sure, gives you some time, but if these bottom two lines
Mhm.
is actual, the county's gonna have to change by next year.
Right. We don't want to operate in the red ever. We want a balanced budget,
Uh,
if not in the black.
No, I know it, and it's, like I say, it's not fair to you. Couple of weeks to say, fix it.
Right, exactly.
But I think as soon as we can get rid of these guys, the better, personally. And you can do that as you can.
We're under a contract for a certain amount,
I
but
know.
once that's done,
So-
it's done. And honestly, we need to get to where we can stand on our own 2 feet anyway. That's
We
what we're
used
paid
to.
to do.
Yeah.
And that's how it used to be. We need to get back to that. It's just finding who all stuff's been farmed out to, getting it back in and
The
moving
stuff
forward.
that's been farmed out happened from about this time to
Right.
just recent, just within the last year.
And it seems like most of the issues we're finding probably started in the August timeframe.
Mhm.
And the outside vendors are quite expensive. So, I mean, we could have probably filled 1 or 2 positions with what's been, sent out to others to do, the best that they can do, but they can only do what they can with the information they're provided as well. So, which, I mean, I don't think that they're a poor company or anything by any means. I just think that they had a limited scope of what they were doing, and it has
But don't you feel like
exploded into more.
don't you feel like we can do a better job with the hands-on right here
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
with
think
the
we can.
time? With
It's just a matter of time. That's the hard part right now. The team's working really hard. Everyone puts in late hours. Everyone's been very cooperative with each other, and everyone's willing to chip in. It's just a matter of what we haven't identified yet. That's issues. that we
We
need
had
to-
several extensive conversations with different people about TKM, and I feel like it was misrepresentatives to their involvement, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how y'all feel, but
So the contract that was done with them was like I want to say it was like 58,500
for 6 months, right?
it was for FY25. And I know that some of those funds have flowed over. They had asked to be prepaid before the fiscal year ended. And I told them we don't prepay, that they would just have to bill us as it went along. And then we did have another outside contractor working at $125 an hour, which we could have had 2 or 3 employees at that rate. So, and then just a matter of finding things that have been miscoded, and because it's just duplication of prior poor entries and stuff. So it's just a matter of just trying to have the time to get it all cleaned up, without the county, being harmed by it.
Michael, are you still on?
You're muted if you are.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just kind of listening. Which
What kind of penalties are we looking at with DFA if we submit this $1.1 million in the hole?
I don't know the answer to that directly. I think that you just kind of have to. Probably the best thing to do is just let them know it's coming, and my experience with them, although minimal, is that they'll work with you on stuff. I think that just let them know there's a problem and they'll provide help most of the time.
I don't think it's per se a penalty that we get, but it's like there's a certain reserve we have to maintain in order to show them that we're, you know.
Yeah, and I see that we're okay as far as the reserve goes and everything is fine, but I don't know, I've never even heard of doing such a thing before. Has this commission ever submitted a budget $1.1 million in the hole?
I don't know.
I can't ever remember one, and
I don't know. I was out for a few years, and it from having like 4 million to being broke.
yeah,
So, and that just happened in 4 years.
And I know at conference, they made it sound like it was not an uncommon issue to happen. Obviously, you can't survive long term if you're constantly operating in the red, and it's not anybody's goal to do that. But they did mention the reserve and stuff like that,
And let him work on it.
I say we approve the budget. I'm with approving the budget, and I'm sure you'll make more tweaks before you send it in, or whatever you're gonna do. I have no idea what you're doing.
I don't know if there's time to make any additional tweaks because it has to be uploaded
Well, then I think
tomorrow.
we can't not approve the budget. So we're just gonna have to approve it, and then if we have to make adjustments to figure out where it's went
Where the
Cali
screw up
longer.
is.
Right. And we can enter bars and everything to try to correct it in the new year as well.
Because I think we're gonna find that we're not like that.
Madam Chair, could I jump in?
Yes, please.
I think, I think that we probably should go ahead and approve the budget. But just in some minor, well, I shouldn't say minor, but similar circumstances where there have been problems with budgets and issues with, just financial issues. I think the main thing to do is to just keep in contact with the folks at DFA and let them know that there's a problem, let them know it's coming. And in my experience, they work with people. They don't necessarily, I've never seen them bring out a big hammer and try to beat anybody up. So if that's, I'm offering that as some consolation that if we do have some problems, I think that they're fixable and we'll probably get some support from DFA if we ask for it.
Our analyst has been great. Kathleen, she's more than willing to help with everything. I would say TKM runs point usually contacting her on stuff. I've been on a few conference calls with TKM and her.
Okay. Well, there it
Madam
is.
Chair, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
I know the deadline. I guess, how hard of a deadline is that? I mean, is it absolute?
It seems pretty absolute from everything that's been communicated to me from DFA.
And what's the
Have to
penalty
get
for
it.
not meeting that deadline?
Wouldn't it be that we wouldn't be able to get any funding or anything? We wouldn't qualify for capital outlay. I don't believe we'd qualify for anything if we do that.
I think that's why we needed to get it in.
I think we would be in huge trouble then. And I think doesn't that spread more than Andy? Yeah, it's 4 years. We wouldn't qualify for 4 years. We don't want to do that.
Make the motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Greider, a second by Commissioner Criswell to approve the budget as presented. So Commissioner Munoz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker?
Guess we don't have a choice, so my vote's yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
motion carries. That is all that's on this agenda for this meeting, so we are now adjourned.
Going based off advice.
Recording stopped.
Mhm.
My hair in my glass.
the recording has stopped. This is exactly the situation we were in when we went from Charlene to Amber. We were not in the hole. We were just unsure of where we were because the spreadsheet